Welcome back to Berita Satu and The Perspective. I'm Blaise Hope with the Mayor of Rotterdam, Ahmed Abu Taleb. We're speaking about developing ports. What kind of money, what kind of investment is needed for Jakarta to realize its goals, for Indonesia to realize it?
Well, creation of ports is really expensive. That takes really a lot of money, and according to the information I have, is that Indonesia is planning a wide range of ports, big ones but also small ones, with billions and billions of dollars of investments. Partly that can be found within the national budgets, but also within the budgets of districts and cities. And if you do that, and what I hear is that the national government is also moving towards more influence and more impact on the national policy by the regions and district, which is always a good thing, to spread the power and to involve other carriers of ideas and money in that process. Really important. But let me give you an example of the extension that we realized in the North Sea. We realized the second Maasvlakte, which is a huge extension, 2,000 hectares of land into the sea. That is reclamation, land reclamation into the sea to create the deepest water system in the world to receive the new generation vessels with a depth of 23 meters and with a cargo of at least 20,000 containers. Do you have an idea? 20,000 containers. That's
TEUs.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And there is no public money directly in that project. 3 billion euros. There is not money from the city involved in it. There is no money from the national government, little money involved in it as a shareholder. That is completely financed by a consortium of 3 banks. And the Port Authority of Rotterdam...
Dutch banks? Or various?
Yeah, the Dutch banks. And the Port Authority of Rotterdam is making profit. And thanks to the fact that they make profit, they pay the loan back. And so that's a kind of a system of finance in that. But you can also involve international money loaners like the World Bank and IMF in those processes. And in our case, that was the commercial banks, Dutch banks, participate in financing this project. 3 billion euros money coming from the markets. That project has been realized on time and within budget, which is really important. That's why we work with companies that we trust, companies that with a strong profile in delivering what they promise to deliver. One of them is also in the delegation with me, Van Noord, one of the big dredgers in the world. They have a name in this country of more than 100 years. So these companies, they deliver what they promise to do. They do it within the time schedule and again within the budget that has been approved in the very beginning. So the finances is always a big problem, but it starts with having a good idea.
But when it works...
Yeah, when it works, the banks and the other commercial institutions will be happy to participate.
I'm just curious, with your time here, we're going to talk about education now because we've got a lot of topics to get through. Have you seen, from your previous visits to Jakarta, improvement? Or do you think that really now that's got to start happening?
It's to me very difficult to judge whether there is an improvement in the field of education here, but I have to listen to the international statistics, international reports, and that show that there is really improvement in Indonesia. In general, that's a good thing. If you have a lot of young people and you have a huge number of people, there'll always be maybe a small quantity but of excellent people. And not all of us need to be managers. Not all of us need to be at the top. We need also.
But those people need to be.
You need at least a selected group of people to lead processes, to be in the lead of thinking about the economy, to think about the healthcare, to think, etc. And that's, I think, available. That quality is here available. I had yesterday a meeting with the alumni. People from Jakarta and the rest of the country have been studying in the Netherlands at the top with the Rotterdam School of Management, which is really a fascinating university.
It's one of the top such schools in the world.
And those people, they come back to Indonesia, and you may find them in a lot of companies. And I think that Indonesia should take care of these people to prevent that they go to Singapore and to go to other countries where they can make more money. So that's really important because the nation is paying a lot of money to educate these youngsters, and when they become at the top, they leave the country. So take care of that, I should say.
The last thing they want is brain drain.
Yeah, well, you need quality, and not everybody need to be selected for a top university. You need for the nation as Indonesia a couple of 10,000s at the top, but prevent them from leaving to the US, to London, or to Singapore.
Okay. Well, we're going to go much more into depth about that and the relationship with Rotterdam when we come back. Stay tuned to The Perspective. See you in a moment.